Yeah, very pleased. A lot to be pleased about, which us managers love. It's, you can't always open these teams up every time you attack, so you have to look on the counter, even sometimes at home. But pleased, as I said, for what our managers look at, the work that we've done in the week, a lot of good feedback from the players and what they felt they needed to remind us of some of the good stuff, and they've delivered today. The shape, the sort of the competitive edge, of a team, and I thought that was on show. And the hard yards, because that's important against these teams. And I thought them things combined, and moments of quality on the break. And then when you need the big moments, they come your way. So Mats makes a big save, at a very important time.
They obviously not find it chances and had to bring on the heavy artillery late in the game, which shows you've done the job properly.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I suggest, these are the top sides, and they're hard. We consider ourselves a side that's improving, but they're top sides, and you have to look at the strength in their bench as well. So, like I say, it's a different kind of commitment. The commitment to win is sometimes the case when you're playing, with all due respect, the team is not at the top of the table. But then what about the commitment to make sure you don't get beat? And I thought that was on show today. The perseverance with the shape and the details in the shape, the individual elements. I thought everyone played their part in that. Set pieces, we know the noise about set pieces. I thought we did well on them. So overall, a lot of the hard yards of the game, I thought we did very well in. And it continues the work we're trying to do. 4 points out of 2 Premier League games. It's a change of what was happening before that, so I'm pleased with that. Well, look, I mean, I just think the game's got to be careful for me, because that's a nudge in the back from our own player, granted. It hits his arm, and you're like, where does this live? We've got to be careful with all this. For that, they can't give him. I don't think you give penalties for things like that. I don't like half of the penalties that are given for handball nowadays, but I understand that's the way the game's going, the rules are going. I mean, I thought we had a really good shout of a penalty. Callum's gone in. Yeah, he's in mid-flow. He's going into the box to decide the moment of truth. Is a tight call. I've seen it back. So, but I wouldn't want to see. Well, let's put it this way: if that was on them, I'd be buzzing to get that one. I'd be thinking hallelujah, because I don't think that's a penalty.
Is this an example? Sometimes a draw can give a team as much confidence as a win.
I know what you're suggesting. I mean, we come out of the West Ham game, and then, a tough game at Wrexham for different reasons, but the reaction was brilliant from the players. I've told them, don't listen to the noise, listen to what we're doing. Listen to what we're doing as a staff with you, and the commitment for our group. And I like that. I like the fact that they've gone out and delivered a really strong performance against the top side. And make no mistake, they are, well, you all know, I don't have to remind you, they're a top side. I mean, they're still... the change that they've done really is 3 or 4 years ago, everyone was saying they have to score beautiful goals. As we know, they'll now score hard goals, ugly goals, set-piece goals. I think that makes them more of a threat, personally. So I think I'm pleased with that. To come out of that with a clean sheet is pleasing for the defensive side of our performance.
So you're only the second club this season that has stopped Arsenal from scoring after Liverpool. That must particularly please you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think we were far wrong in other games we've played, but, the details are so important. Mats makes a big save, and that can change the outlook, But a lot of I think apart from things flashing, don't get me wrong, they had things flashing across the box, so they did have sort of chances, but not them ones that they're not killer chances, open chances. So I'm pleased we kept them down to them sort of chances. Not where they've played through us and opened us up too many times. There's a couple of moments, but nothing like that. And that shows a defensively very strong performance. And then, like I say, sometimes you have to play at home as if you're away on the counter. And I think against these top sides, sometimes you have to do that. We did it very well against Man City. Referees' decisions went against us, and we've done it very well today and got a good point and a well-deserved point, I thought, overall.
Sean, you spoke 2 days ago, but some of your biggest performances this season have come against Liverpool, Manchester City, and now again today. Is the next challenge to kind of do that more consistently against all of them?
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken since, because you cover us a lot, and I've spoken since I got here about consistency. How do you find that balance of, it's just a different mindset, isn't it, going into these games? The fans are different, the feeling's different. Winning the fight you're supposed to win is not always the easiest one to win, and sometimes it's that, but we have got to keep pushing ourselves. If it's a game that people consider we should win, then we've got to grow with that. That's part of the expectation of a football club. And this club went supersonic last season, and it changed the whole feel, the whole expectation, the storyline. And it started really, really poorly, obviously. Now we've got to recorrect that, and it takes time. It's not. I said when I got there, there's no magic dust. There's no just flicking a switch, and it's all brilliant all of a sudden, and all the players all know everything about the Premier League. It's a gradual process, and I think I know there's clear signs. People can question it, but I know because I work with the players every day, And I think there's a real good feel about the group and how they're growing into the Premier League this season after a really, really tough start.
Thank
You mentioned the strength of Arsenal's bench. I mean, they changed number 5 of their front 6 during the course of that game. I mean, does that just sort of show on your confidence?
Yeah, well, that's the market, isn't it? I mean, they've been piecing that side together for a few years now and put a lot of money into it. And this club's not shy in putting money into the team, but you know, they're signing a lot of players who are what you describe as bona fide Premier League players. We've got a lot of younger players who haven't been in the Premier League. I've been trying to speak openly about that. It's not they're not good players. They are, and they are talented players. It's a different thing being in the Premier League and learning to the nuts and bolts, as I call it, the Premier League. You've got to do all the ugly stuff. You've got to, you get caught out if you're not in the right position. You get caught out if you're not doing the changeover play. The transition in the Premier League is way quicker than European divisions, in my opinion. I haven't worked in them, but I watch them. Transition is so important, and some of these players, it just takes them time to learn about the Premier League, and it will take time. But patience is not a thing that we're blessed with in football nowadays. Football management or fans and coaches, players even. It's everything wanted now, and that's a hard job that we all face as managers. So I'm trying to deliver it now, but I know deep down some of these players are going to take a bit of time, and they're working very hard at it. And you certainly saw that today. No, I can't do anything about other people's results, but I can try and affect our results. That's the reality of it. I've always stuck by that. I can't worry about other people's business. It's about worrying about our business and making sure we're going well and what we're performing like.
How much of a difference did
Yeah, I thought Elliot was outstanding today. Callum as well, and Dominguez for different reasons. Off the ball, the work ethic, and his pressing lines. Very clever footballer. And Sangare just gives you that, that feel. He's got a nice sort of balance to it, and Elliot, as you know, goes wandering with his pace and his commitment to press, and Sangare just holds the sort of position. So it's a nice mix in there. We knew it before we went away, and I thought they both delivered a good performance again today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers, everyone.